We are back after the international break. It's time for game week 5, and quite frankly, the less we talk about my predictions for game week 4, the better. Zero bob-ons from yours truly. Zero can only be described as pathetic. 5 correct outcomes, but that is little, very little to make up for what was pretty disastrous from me. Middlesbrough to beat Sheffield United by 3-1. Nope, they beat them 1-0. Watford to draw with Southampton 1-1. Nope, that was 2-2. I was close with Swansea against Sheffield Wednesday. I had Swansea to win 2-1. That was 2-0. Pompey to beat Preston by 2-1. That was 1-0 to Pompey. And I shouldn't get any credit for this, but I had Bristol City beat Hull by a goal to nil. That was obviously 4-2. And I think I described it as tight, narrow, cagey. Nope, none of that. 4-2, straight out the blocks. Terrible, pathetic, embarrassing. Yeah, that was bad. Right then, we'll forget about game week 4 because that block of fixtures ended pretty badly, and we'll talk about game week 5. We'll start with Friday night, where Ipswich play Sheffield United. Sheffield United have obviously lost all their games so far, mounting pressure on Ruben Selles. Ipswich not that much better, only 2 points on the board so far. They got a late penalty, a little bit of a get out of jail free card against Derby to draw 2-2 at Portman Road. I can't see Sheffield United going there and winning, not Portman Road. I think both sides will have the international break and also had a busy transfer window, a lot of churn to regroup themselves and get a little bit better. I think we'll see progression, a lot of progression from both sides. I will go for a narrow Ipswich win to kick start off though. I will go for Ipswich to get their first win of the season, a 5th consecutive league defeat for Ruben Selles. I will go Ipswich 2, Sheffield United 1. Up next, Charlton against Millwall, and this is one of 2 very, very tasty local derbies. Charlton haven't had the number on Millwall for the longest time, and Millwall have always had the upper hand on this particular fixture. If anyone's going to turn that around, it's going to be Nathan Jones, and it's going to be at Valley for Charlton, isn't it? I can see all 3 results. I can see a draw. I think it'll be 1-0 either way. I think it's going to be really tight. It's going to be really narrow. It's going to be really, really cagey. For that reason, I'll go down the middle. I can't pick a winner. I really can't. So I'll go Charlton 0, Millwall 0. Oxford against Leicester next. Oxford got their first point of the season at the Kassam against Coventry. Leicester, they beat Birmingham very impressively at the King Power. I think this will be a tight game. I think Garrett will not give Leicester anything to work with. I am seeing a little bit more improvement from Oxford in the final from the attacking sense. So I'll go for them to get something, and I'll go for them to score a goal as well. So I'll go Oxford 1, Leicester 1. Up next, Preston against perfect Middlesbrough. So far, Rob Edwards has had a brilliant start to his career as Middlesbrough manager. Preston, they fell to their first defeat last time out against Pompey. No shame in that. Fran Park will be an incredibly difficult place to go, and not many teams will come out there with 3 points. Middlesbrough, they beat Sheffield United. I think this will be a tough test for Borough, actually, and for that reason, I'll go for them to drop their first points this season, and I think Preston will be very, very strong at home. So I'll go for a draw. I'll go even Stevens. I'll go Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1. Up next, Coventry play Norwich at the CBS. Coventry, it's still very free-flowing, but a little bit of a disappointing draw against Oxford. They had the chances to win that easily after Mason Clark had one at 2-1, sort of sealed the game. Didn't take it. Actually, hit the bar late on. Norwich, very impressive away win at Blackburn. Obviously, caveat of Blackburn down to 10 men, and the first goal was directly down to that red card. But still, take advantage while you can, and Norwich did certainly that. Josh Sargent is still there, and yeah, the guy is a freak at this level. Despite that, I'll go for Coventry with their free-flowing sort of goal-scoring self to win by 2-1 at the CBS. If this was at Carrow Road, I'd probably maybe flip it, but I'm going to go for home advantage. I'll go Coventry 2, Norwich 1. Up next, Sheffield Wednesday against my side, Bristol City. City, very impressive win against Hull. Unbeaten, 2 points per game, 8 points from our first 4. Wednesday fell to defeat at home against Swansea, a little bit disappointing. We all know about Sheffield Wednesday's worries and problems and stuff, and probably, I know you make Bristol City favourites for this one. I think it'll be tight. And I said this about the game against Hull, and it definitely wasn't. It was very open, very, very non-cagey. So I'll say the same things I did in my pre-match against Hull. For this one, I will go for a narrow Bristol City win on the road. I'll go Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 1. Up next, Stoke against Birmingham. Both teams have had a pretty decent start of the season. Both teams felt their first defeat. of the season last time out. Stoke lost at home to West Brom. Birmingham lost away at Leicester. I don't think either team will be too concerned. Both very even games that just lost that margin moment. Stoke from a set piece when Nat Phillips scored. Birmingham had a little bit of a job done on them by Martin Fuentes. And Leicester, both teams will be looking to bounce back. I think this will be a very good game. If any side was to sort of win this, I have no idea why I'm saying this. Probably say Birmingham. I don't know why. Probably say Stoke. I should say Stoke, really, because of the home advantage. But no, for that reason, I'm going to go for a narrow Blues win. I'm going to go for Stoke Blues back-to-back games. I'm going to go Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. Swansea against Hull next. Hull have been leading goals for fun. They conceded 2 against Oxford, 3 against Blackburn. That was both at home, and then 4 obviously Ashton against Bristol City. Swansea have had a pretty decent start. It feels like the new signings are sort of gelling in nicely. They also signed Manuel Benson and Adam Eder on deadline day. I mean, those 2 brilliant additions for a non-parachute team at championship level. So yeah, I'll continue for that attacking threat to be there. Ethan Galbraith has made a really good impression. So I'll go for Swansea to beat Hull. I'll probably make them favourites as well. I'll go Swansea 3. I'll concede 3 again. Hull 1. Up next, the Andy Vyman and Valerian Ismaël derby, where Watford play Blackburn. Ismaël, obviously, in the Blackburn dugout. The big news with Blackburn has probably been around their deadline day and their general transfer business, where it's just been a little bit underwhelming and probably very negative. Actually, lost Dom High on one deadline day. Lost Lewis Travis, Tyrese Dolan, etc., etc. They've lost some good players, Joe Rankin Costello. Watford, they had a good point against Southampton then there at Vicarage Road. They drew 2-2. I should probably back a Watford win, purely because of feeling around both clubs. I'll actually go for a draw. I'll go for an exciting Desmond. I'll go for Watford to draw 2-2 again. I'll go Watford 2, Blackburn 2. Off to the Hawthorns, where West Brom play Derby. I remember this game last year where Derby went there and won 3-1 in the middle of their relegation fight. West Brom have had a very impressive start, so I can't see Derby going there and winning by 3-1 again. West Brom have had a very good start. Ryan Mason has made himself, made a very good impression at championship level so far. They look sort of flexible. Metham and Phillips look very good at centre back together. Derby, they've not won a game yet, but also we know about their injury problems, etc., etc. They got a good point in context. Ipswich, they probably should have won that game. I will go for a narrow West Brom win. I think that momentum at Albion might just be enough. I'll go for West Brom 1, Derby 0. Up next, Wrexham against QPR. Both sides got their first wins of the season last time out. Wrexham, both very impressive wins actually. Wrexham going to Millwall and winning by 2-0. That is not an easy place to go, the Den. And then QPR obviously beating Charlton by 3-1. Again, scoring 3 past Charlton is not easy at all. Richard Kone scored in back-to-back games, and yeah, he looks like a really good number 9. He looks like he's going to make the transition from League One to Championship very easily. Despite all of that, I'm going to go for home advantage. I'm going to go Wrexham to win by 2-1. I think with that all the momentum they had from deadline day as well, they've all such a good feeling around Wrexham again. I'll go for Wrexham to win by 2-1. And finally, to wrap things up, what a spectacle we have in store. Southampton against Pompey in the South Coast Derby to wrap things up at St Mary's, which is important to note. Southampton do have the home advantage for this one. This is going to be brilliant, isn't it? It's going to be box office, and for the first time in the longest time, these two sides are pretty close to each other in the league. In fact, Pompey are actually above Southampton in the league at the moment, and this should be great fun. Southampton should have the better squad, should be the favourites, but they're still in that little churn period because they've lost some star players, Fernandez, Ramsdale, etc. Tyler Dibbling, some Tom Fellows, some Finn Azaz, 2 very good championship players who should produce lots of numbers. Pompey look more stable. They've not had much of a churn. They've started the season pretty well. I should really go either a Pompey win, right, or a sort of draw. I think that year one parachute sort of power might be a little bit too much though for Pompey. So I'll go Southampton 3, Pompey 2. I'll go for a brilliant, thrilling derby. That is it, everyone. Those are my predictions for all 12 games. Get yours in for all 12 in the comment section down below. And yeah, we are blessed with some great fixtures this game week. What a way to sort of welcome us back from the international break. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, comment your predictions for all 12 games in the comment section down below. And yeah, keep safe, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.